Good morning, everyone. All right, we're gonna be taking a walk to the USS Intrepid, but in order to get there, we are gonna take a route. Obviously, right now I am on the corner of West 14th Street, West 14th and 6th. And we're gonna walk. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll make this a visually engaging walk. We're gonna walk up 14th Street, and we're gonna get onto the High Line, and then we're gonna walk down to the Intrepid. For those of you that don't know what the High Line is basically the old New York City Railroad, elevated railroad that used to run on the west side, and it was converted into a open air park. And it'll take you down to Hudson Yards. You can tell she is dressed for the occasion. It is 99 degrees right now, guys. 99. And it is early. When I say early, it's before lunchtime. It's not really early. It's around 10 o'clock, 10:30. But it's 99 degrees, and it is possibly gonna be over 100 degrees. The heat index right now is 112, so it is dangerously hot out. The humidity is what's really making it worse. I think the humidity was something like 85%. I was just, see, this is the way this guy's dressed. I mean, this guy got to be careful. He's got to be careful today, because that's, in this kind of weather, that kind of attire it's dangerous. If you notice, I have started the walk on the shady side. I don't know, at some point we're going to be in the sun, so might as well, kind of be strategic about it. So this is the second day of the heat wave. As I'm recording this, it is July 2nd. Crossing 7th Avenue right now. Vinny's gluten-free kitchen. That happens to be my name. Well, I prefer people call me Vince. I'll say that again, because that bus was really loud. I said I prefer people calling me Vince, but people call me Vinny. So we're gonna walk to the USS Intrepid. It is 4th of July weekend, I guess, extended weekend. A lot of people have taken off already, so you can see right here, there's not a lot of people on the street right now. But we have the Sail 250. You guys know I live right on the water over there by the Verrazano Bridge, so I've been watching some of the ships trickle in. We had USS Kearsarge came in, LHD-3, I believe. That is I guess you could call it an aircraft carrier, but it's not an aircraft carrier. It's an amphibious assault ship, but it does have a flat top. It is smaller than in an aircraft carrier. The USS Nimitz is coming. That is an aircraft carrier. That's going to be wild to see an aircraft carrier go underneath the Verrazano Bridge. We never get to see that. We had the Spanish Navy came in this morning. I woke up to the sound of 21 gun salute cannons going off in Fort Hamilton Army Base. I live right next to the Army base. So, like 7 in the morning, like boom, 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 So the Spanish Navy came in this morning. A lot of tall ships are starting to come in today. There's been a number of tall ships that are already docked. I know there's one docked down over by the Brooklyn Bridge. Eventually, they will do the parade of ships tomorrow, July 3rd, starting in the morning, and they'll do it again on the 4th of July. And then you guys could go into the city and they'll have them all at the piers and you can go look at them. Any ship that can fit at a pier. I know that the Kearsarge is anchored out by the Statue of Liberty. And I'm pretty sure that the Nimitz is going to be probably anchored out. So when we get to the end of this walk, we'll take some time in Pier 84. Pier 84, where we're going, is a park now. It's a pier converted into a park. It's right across from the Intrepid. When we get over to Pier 84, we'll talk about the Intrepid, look at it. I'm not just gonna end the walk over there. We're gonna walk around and take some looks at the ship. This is on 9th Avenue. Over there you got Hudson Street. West 14th and Hudson right over there. This right over here is 9th Avenue. We're going into some sunlight. See, not a lot of people sitting down out here. This guy is. He's just right in the sunlight. Got the water truck over here. They're watering the plants. I'm going to step into 14th Street here safely to show you guys a cobblestone. This is all cobblestone down here. I'll get into the sun now. Got a lot of high-end shops over here. Got a little workbench going on over here. So if you're wondering where the Intrepid is, we have to walk down to 47th Street in that area. We're on 14th Street, so it's going to be a bit of a walk. Wow, it is hot. You know, I don't know. There's no other way to say it. It is hot. It is so hot that I got my backpack on one shoulder. Like, I am definitely not wearing it on my back because it just drenched my back and my backpack. I did debate whether we should do the entire High Line because it goes way back. I mean, it goes down into Chelsea. But the way I look at it, the main goal here is to get over to the Intrepid. And I guess to make it visually engaging for all of you. I originally was going to do the walk along 1st Avenue over by the United Nations and then go all the way up 47th like I did. I did that a couple of years ago. But who wants to see just streets with, you know, a whole bunch of skyscrapers and not a lot of stuff going on? So I'll take you up here instead. So this is the High Line. To give you a little history, personal history, we used to trespass up here when this thing was all abandoned back in the 80s and 90s. It was like out of a scene of Walking Dead. I mean, it was all overgrown with just greenery, and it was actually very nice. I mean, you could find some old pictures of what it looked like before they turned this into a park. And they still have the original rails throughout the walk, so I'll show you where the rails are. As a matter of fact, right there is some rails. This looks like a cross track right here. Switch. So throughout, we're going to see tracks. And there's a lot of areas with views. That's 10th Avenue right there. That's the Hudson. So here we go. Let's do this. There'll be times of like down here. I wonder if these rails are still down in here, and it just it looks like they pulled the rails out of there. So But there are still some big rails, like with ties and everything. So this is actually a rail right there. You see the edge where the grass, where the walk ends? That's a rail. So that rail is acting as a curb. And you'll see as we come out of it, you'll see the rail materialize right here. See that? This is the rail right here. Now right up here, let me take you guys up there. Let's turn around. Let's take you guys up there. This area over here is a very big area for vendors and street artists and everything like that. They all come and hang out in here. And they are just getting ready for the day. Like I said, it is early. It's, you know, it's before 11, so they're just getting ready. As you can see, a lot of the old rail infrastructure is still in place. You can see the facade here. So this right here is a viewing area. I'll take you guys down real quick and then we'll start again. You guys see that those buildings over there? That's where we're going. That's Hudson Yards, that area. Wow, there's nobody down here yet, huh? This is usually very crowded, but this is early for everybody. This will be totally crowded later on. You'll be lucky to get a spot here to look along 10th Avenue. This is 10th Avenue right here. And as you can see, people can sit here and just watch the traffic. Almost forget that it's like 99 degrees outside. That's the real reason that nobody's over here right now, guys. That's the reason why there's nobody sitting over here. It's not because it's early. It's because it's too hot to be in this area. I mean, I even noticed the crowds are pretty thin. This is usually this whole walk that we're doing. Come here in like the spring and the fall, and it is crowded. It is very hard to walk this. As you can see, there's nobody. There's not a lot of people down here. They chose to stay inside with the air conditioner. Speaking of heat, we are going to be in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood for a lot of this. So, perfect name. There is a nice breeze coming in. It is a hot oven breeze. Give you guys a look at this building here. Interesting designs. Interesting windows. Like I said, we are going to where those tall buildings are there. Those are the Hudson Yards. You can see up there that platform. That is a observation deck up there, outdoor platform on that building that looks like a Dorito, a white Dorito sticking off the building. That's a viewing platform. I think they call that the edge. You see some rails. Oh yeah, see, I was right. Look, there's a sign for it. That's a advertisement, billboard advertising the edge right there. Hold on, let me fix my camera, because my camera, guess what camera I'm using today, guys? You know, the camera that has a mind of its own. Likes to just pan wherever it wants to pan. That's what I was telling you. Let's see if you can kind of see it. You can see some of the old rails. You can see some of the old wooden ties in there. That is a complete rail, just still there the way it's supposed to be. I'll tell you, the greenery really, you know, the foliage really overgrew these train tracks. I mean, when they first built these, the park here, the tracks were pretty much exposed. And now they're all, you know, covered up and stuff. So day 2 of the heat wave. There's a lot of interesting structures along the way here on this walk. You're going to see a lot of interesting skyscrapers. It's just a lot of interesting stuff. Here's the rail that I was showing you. It's now on the ground. We're walking right on the rail here. I guess this would have been the northbound track. A lot of the rail traffic back in the day would haul a lot of goods, freight, stuff of that nature. And there was a lot of drop points along these rails where you had pick up and drop off points to unload contents inside a lot of the hoppers. They do have elevator access to come up here for disabled people. This is an elevator point right here. At some point, it's gonna hit 100 today. So, very hot, very dangerous weather. This is like extreme. What makes it extreme is the humidity. If you've ever experienced heat out west, well, this is nothing. This is, you add the humidity, it's a totally different animal. Starting to see more people now. This is an area where we used to trespass a lot over here in this area, because I remember all these buildings. When we were teenagers, we used to get up here. There was ways you could climb up and get on. So yesterday, you guys, if you guys haven't seen it, yesterday we walked. Man, where did we walk? I can't even. Oh, it was Amsterdam Avenue, 60th Street, all the way down to 125th and Park Avenue, and then turned around and walked up the other side of 125th. You see some of these sculptures that they have. And then, of course, you could look down at the street here. Look how high up we are, guys. Look at this. That's how high up we are right here. We are about to hit the Hudson Yards area. Here's a good look at the train tracks right here. I have pictures of them. 1 second. That is my camera, of course. It thinks it sees something. Maybe it's picking up ghosts. Who knows? Maybe this is like sensitive to like EMF or something. I remember I have pictures of them putting the foundation for the first building, for the very first building, which is, I think it's that one. Pretty sure it's that one. And it was the year that the High Line opened. So the year that this opened, they started building that one right there. One in front of us, the real big one. And from up here, I took pictures of them digging out the pit where the base of the building is. Yeah, look at that. We got a little tour group here. How nice. Another tour group coming out. Yeah, a lot of tour groups. See, this is, like I said, it's now starting to pick up. These are probably prepaid tours too, so they have no choice but to do these walks. To do these walks while the heat wave's going on. I'm just like crashing through people. I crashed into a girl with the backpack. I'm not gonna move. I'll give you guys some looks at the structure here in a second. Here we go. This is how high up it goes. Look at this. Look at that. There you go. Just give you guys a nice little 360 there. Look at that. Now the High Line, one day I could spend a whole day up here, but it goes all the way down this way. There's an area that you can go down. So this thing coming up is called the Vessel. Not this thing. This thing over here. This thing there was a lot of controversy with this thing. When it opened, there were a lot of suicides. Like a lot. Hold on, let me fix the camera. You had people constantly coming up here just to jump. Constantly. If you look very closely, you'll see that it's now encased in basically fencing. So no one could jump anymore. They had to close it down. I want to say maybe they closed it down for a year. But they closed it down for a large period of time to put those fencings up. If you see the fencings surrounding everything. So they got all the flags. Got the World Cup going on. Team USA won last night. What a game. It was such a good game. They got red carded. They were down a guy and they still won, and they even shut out Bosnia, even with the red card. So this is the area that at one time and there was nothing down here, guys. All these buildings that you see, all these buildings were just erected in the last, what are we, 2026? So in the last, only in the last 15 years. I mean, that's how fast this whole area grew. Bit of a breeze hitting me over here. So this right here is, I believe, 34th or 33rd Street. It's 33rd. Remember, we got to go down to 47th Street. What we're going to do, I think this is 10th Avenue over here, but we're going to take this block and then we're going to go down to 47th and then we're going to walk up 47th to the Intrepid. On 47th Street is where, I mentioned this in the past, when I was younger, I was a messenger. Yeah, I was one of those crazy guys on a bike delivering stuff, and eventually I became the dispatcher there. This is before I went into the Navy. And we're gonna walk by where that location is. It's no longer there. I mean, it's been gone a long time. I'll show you the building when we get over there. It's right down the block from the Intrepid. Interesting, we were on 10th Avenue yesterday, sort of. We were on Amsterdam, up by 60th Street. This is what turns, this right here is becomes Amsterdam at where we started the walk yesterday. So we're a little further south. In case you're wondering, I am sweating. It is hot. I gotta challenge some of these cabs. She's walking her dog. gotta wait for this light to change, or we could just take it now. Gridlock. I was going to say, I have deja vu. We walked by that girl a couple of times on the High Line. Now we just walked by her on 10th Avenue. Let's hope we don't have to keep walking by. There's a mess over here. We'll be walking for 42 minutes. That's how long we've been walking. And as a reminder, we are in the Hell's Kitchen area. And it definitely feels like a kitchen in hell, I'll tell you that. This is the Port Authority area. This is where all the traffic comes in and out of Port Authority, where all the buses are. And I am really racing to get past these lights before they turn green. Red for me, green for them. Because I don't want to get stuck waiting a lot at intersections. This whole open area over here is where the tunnels are, and like I said, you got Port Authority. You can see a bus that's coming out of the Port Authority over there. Give you a view of the skyline. That is the Midtown skyline right there. That's looking down towards 7th and 6th Avenue. See this guy walking with his shirt off coming up. That's generally what I do. When I'm on the shore at the beach, I never have my shirt on. Never have it on. I always have my shirt off. That's how I get so dark. Constantly in the sun. You know, a lot of people have told me over the years, you gotta be careful with the sun, skin cancer. I'm like, I've been in the sun since I was a child. So, me and my Italian blood, not gonna say I'm immune from skin cancer, but I mean, since I've been in the sun for so many years, it's more unlikely than likely that would happen to me. And I usually don't, it's not like I stay out in the sun for hours. I'd say 2 to 3 hours at most is what I do, and my skin is fine with it. I don't get crazy sunburn or anything. I tan, I get darkened. Coming up on 42nd Street, so I'm going to slow down a bit. A lot of traffic over here. Here's what I'm going to do, just to give myself a break. I'm going to get into the shade for a few blocks. A motorcycle dude. That guy over there with the hat, he looks like Miami Vice over there. I'm just waiting to see. Oh, there's the light. There we go. Now I can go. So we're gonna go down 47th Street. Got a few more blocks. As I stated earlier, we are going to the Intrepid, the USS Intrepid. And I'll give you guys a rundown of what the Intrepid is when we get down there. I'm not going to talk about it now. It makes no sense. I'll tell you what, guys, I am definitely today scoring some pizza. I might eat pizza twice today or even 3 times today. This is a pizza kind of day. My crazy ass, I was in the kitchen last night cooking up a sauce. I had to have my AC going, of course. Normally, I don't... When the summer comes and we have this type of heat, I don't cook that much. If I do cook, I use my grill. I have a tabletop grill. But I don't like to do a lot of long duration cooking, you know, because it just heats up the house. The house is already hot. I live on the top floor, so, you know, the sun is always hitting my apartment. On all 4 walls, it doesn't matter. Man, I'm drenched though. I am dripping. I feel fine though, don't worry. This is oh look, they got a Navy sailor. I should talk to him. That's one thing I would never, like, I never went out in my dress whites like that. wore my dress blues. I just went out civilian. I didn't want to draw attention. Now somebody once told me years ago, they're like, you should wear your dress uniform because the girls like that and everything. And I'm like, usually attract the wrong girls. I'm more of a reserved person, you know. I remember once we went out in our dress. We wore our dress. Actually, we wore our summer whites. That's what he was in. He was in his summer whites. We were in Australia for the Olympics back in 2000. And the ship was just getting bombarded. It was crazy. It was getting bombarded with phone calls. Like, there are girls on the ends of the pier that want to meet a sailor, or this, that, the other thing. And we went to go play pool, and I was in my summer whites. Me and my friend were in summer whites. It was just, everyone was around our pool table. All right, 47th Street, this is it. We're taking this down to the end. We are already pretty much on the west side of Manhattan, so we don't have to go far to get to the end. I do remember when we go up to the end, I'm going to have to hook a left and go. There is a footbridge we'll probably use. It is the West Side Highway, so unfortunately, that's a big cross. That is a really big cross, so you gotta wait a long time for that light. So we'll see if the footbridge is open. This block in the 1990s, like these, was very bad. Very bad. I actually did not like working down here. It has definitely changed a lot. I could see, I'm looking right now. Can I see my old building? Is it still? Yeah, it's still there. Looks like something's replaced it, actually. Let's see what happens when we get over there. Oh, it's still there. I see it. It's still there. You're gonna like it. It's a very nice building. Very nice old style red brick building that was renovated in the early 2000s. When I worked there, it didn't look that nice, but you'll see it's much nicer now. A lot of these buildings, though, these are all newer buildings that were not down here back in the day. It was all smaller type of structures. And you can see over the years, they've, knocked down a lot of the buildings. The building that's on the corner next door to my old job building that wasn't there when I was working there. My building looks like it almost looks like a firehouse. I mean, you guys, I don't even have to point it out. You guys can tell which building I'm talking about. It's the only original building on the block that's left. Look at that. Where it says space for all, that banner. That's where that building is. And the garage, we used to go into the garage. That's where all the bikers would go to change out their deliveries and stuff and get their orders. Hey, there's the Navy sailor. Look at that. I wonder if he's going to the Intrepid. Here we go. I'm actually going to walk in the street for this, so you guys get a good look at this. This was the name of the company, by the way. I don't know if I told you, is called Hotline. That was the name of our messenger company, and the garage still looks the same. Looks like they put some partitions in there and stuff. I worked here for 2 years. No, it was a year, just a year. It was a little over a year. I was on the second floor, right above the McGlynn and Hayes Company sign. And you're going to see, oh, is this, so he might be with the Arlington. So the USS Arlington is in port right in front of us. See if we can get a look at that. You can kind of see the stacks. We'll see what we can look at down there. That's another amphibious ship, I believe. It's a newer one. Those are some of the newer ones. They look totally futuristic. The cone-shaped spy arrays and all that stuff. So as you can see, there is no crosswalk here. So you cannot cross here. You got to find a crosswalk. There goes the Intrepid right there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go this way. I want to get you guys a look at the oh, there's a good shot right there. There you go. You can see it there. Let me zoom in there. This ship came in yesterday. I know because I heard the cannons going off at around 3 o'clock, so that's what time it came in. All the ships coming in, any military ship coming in is getting the 21 gun salute from Fort Hamilton. Every single ship. Even if it's a sailboat that is part of a military flotilla, will get a 21 gun salute. And there goes the Intrepid. What I want to do... Oh, you know what? Look at that. Perfect timing, guys. Perfect time. We don't have to use the footbridge. What I want to do is go over to Pier 84. Let's get you guys a look at the Arlington. I'm hoping that's the Arlington. I'm assuming it is. I know when it came in. There you go. And that's what the newer ships look like these days. They got those cones. That is to help with the profile so it doesn't get picked up on radar very well by enemy ships. All right, let's look at the Intrepid. Let's go over to Pier 84 because you will get a great look at the Intrepid from there. They got an SR-71 sitting on the aft of the deck there. There you go, guys. The Intrepid. Now, this aircraft carrier is not as big as the newer aircraft, the latest aircraft carriers. I think this one sits at around 900 feet long, whereas the newer aircraft, well, new. When I say newer, we're talking about the later class aircraft carriers come in at about 1,100 feet. I'm going to give you guys a nice view from the pier over there, so just give me a minute. Space Shuttle is inside that tent thing in the back, the USS Enterprise, which was on a barge and sailed here underneath the Verrazano Bridge. This is Pier 84, by the way. You can see some people out. So here it is, guys. Now, this ship was commissioned in 1943, and it did fight in World War II. It had 2 Pacific battles. At one point, it survived, I think it was 4 or 5 kamikaze attacks. So you had 4, I think it was 5 kamikaze attacks on this ship, and it even withstood a torpedo hit. This ship was hit with a torpedo. Now, after the war, it was used to, if I'm not mistaken, NASA used it to recover Mercury and Gemini capsules, I believe. But it was used by NASA to recover the early Apollo program capsules when they came back. Mercury and Gemini. It was also in the Vietnam War. It served during the Vietnam War. It got decommissioned when I was born, so I never got to see this thing in service. It was decommissioned in '74, and it's been in New York City since '82. My father brought me here when it first came in. I watched this come in '82 as a kid. Now, this carrier is bigger than the Kearsarge. So the Kearsarge, you can't see the Kearsarge from here. It's anchored out by the Statue of Liberty, the amphibious carrier ship. This is bigger. This is, like I said, it's around 900 feet long, and the Kearsarge is around 800. Looks like you got some military aircraft flying over. And like I said, the newer aircraft carriers, like the Nimitz is coming in. The Nimitz is over 1,000 feet long. So So there you go. There's your look at the Intrepid. Let's give you guys a look at this park area before I wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for tagging along. It is, check the weather here. Let's see if we hit 100. Oh man, those fountains, I want to run through those fountains, guys. It is still 99 degrees. Heat index is 112. Oh. You could tell, like, this is usually a very crowded area. And there's nobody out. No one wants to be out. So I'm going to let you guys see some refreshing little fountains going on here. That's how we're going to end it. This guy's going to run right in there. I would do it. The problem is I got camera gear. So. Who needs old faithful when we got this, right? Alright guys, I'm going to end it. I hope everybody enjoyed this walk. We started all the way down on 14th Street and 6th Avenue. We went on the High Line. And speaking of lines, this is all the this is the Circle Line fleet here. These are the boats that'll take you over to Liberty Island. This is how I used to go to Liberty Island. I used to take the Circle Line. And then we ended it with some looks at some Navy ships, specifically the Intrepid. And now I'm gonna call it. Let me give you guys a look at this. Look at this skyline down here. This is all new skyline. Never had skyline like this 20 years ago. Look at that. It's like the bars on a phone. Alright guys, I'm signing off. Stay cool, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.